Her Lexus was sideways at the mouth of my driveway, hazard lights flashing like a barricade. 2 pickup trucks idled behind it loaded with plywood cone sawhorses. And there was Karen, HOA, President Bullhorn, in hand shouting into the night. This driveway belongs to the community. In that moment I realized this wasn't about a shortcut anymore. This was war, and it was happening right on my front lawn. My name's Mark Bennett. I'm 38, an engineer, a husband, a dad of 2 kids who love to draw hopscotch squares with chalk at the end of our private driveway. Private, as in deeded, stamped county certified mine. And yet the woman next door, Karen Miller, the self-crowned queen of our HOA, decided that my driveway was the perfect shortcut for her Lexus and anyone else she could convince to follow. At first it was just 1 or 2 cars rolling down at 6:30 in the morning, headlights off, coffee in hand. Then it turned into a parade. Kids playing in chalk had to jump out of the way while SUVs barreled through. When I waved at her to stop, she honked back like I was a valet. And when I finally confronted her, she blinked, sipped her latte, and said, "Honey, the board agreed. This is fine." The board, of course, never said a word. But Karen was the board, or at least she thought so. I tried polite. I posted a neat little sign, "Private drive, no through traffic." It lasted half a day before I found it flattened with tire tracks. That night, she blasted the neighborhood Facebook group OP as putting up unnecessary signage. We should all remind him this is a community. Dozens of her wine night friends chimed in. I didn't rage back. I cataloged. Dash cam clips, camera snapshots, date and timestamps. My wife said I looked like I was prepping for trial, and maybe I was. Because the next morning, Karen wasn't alone. She'd convinced a whole carpool of parents that my driveway was the new school drop-off. 7 minivans lined up bumper to bumper, unloading like a parking lot. I stood on the porch, toothbrush dangling, watching Karen wave them forward like she was running traffic control. That was the moment I decided Karen was going to meet consequences. So I went shopping. Driveway spikes, steel, sharp, subtle enough to blend with gravel but strong enough to chew through tires. Installation was almost therapeutic. My wife stood on the porch, arms crossed, whispering, "You're going to war," I corrected her. "I'm setting boundaries." And then I waited. At precisely 6:32 the next morning, Karen's Lexus purred up the drive. A pause, a roll, then a sound like God snapping pencils, 4 tires blown. Her scream pierced the morning. I stepped out, coffee in hand, robe tied, and called Morning Karen. She spun, mascara smudged, shrieking, "What have you done? The HOA will have you arrested. Arrested for protecting my own property." I reminded her calmly. Trespassing has consequences. And I have plenty of footage. She stormed off, heels stabbing pavement, and I knew the first battle was mine. The war, though, had just begun. By that afternoon, my cameras caught her pacing outside with the 2 clipboard flunkies gesturing wildly at my spikes, mouthing the words "safety hazard." That night, Facebook lit up with her post, "Dangerous unlawful spikes endanger our children. Emergency meeting tomorrow." My wife laughed. "You're officially her full-time obsession." She was right. I walked into that clubhouse the next evening like it was opening night theater. Karen stood at the front banner behind her "Community Safety Above All." She called me reckless, arrogant, a danger to kids on bikes. When she finished her melodrama, I raised my hand. "Quick clarification. You mean my private driveway? The one every HOA document says is outside your jurisdiction." "Correct." Murmurs spread. She stiffened. "It's not about jurisdiction, it's about responsibility." That's when I spread out glossy photos. Cars speeding down my drive, kids nearly clipped Karen's Lexus leading the pack. The room gasped. An older member cleared his throat. Technically, he's within his rights. Karen's lips went paper thin. She snapped her folder shut, but she wasn't finished. "If he insists on barricading himself, then the community will respond. We will petition the county to classify his driveway as public easement." That was her big move, steal my driveway by law. I left calm on the outside, but inside, my stomach turned. She wasn't after convenience anymore. She wanted control, and I wondered, was I crazy for fighting this hard? Was I becoming the paranoid loner she painted online? For a moment, I thought maybe selling and leaving would be easier. My wife saw the doubt in my eyes and said, "She doesn't want a shortcut. She wants power. Don't let her win." That snapped me back. I wasn't wrong. I was cornered but not defeated. So I dug deeper. I went to the county records. Within 2 days, I held original blueprints, deeds, permits. My driveway wasn't just mine, it was ironclad mine. Meanwhile, Karen escalated in petty ways. My mailbox vanished overnight, ripped from the ground. Hours later, a yellow slip appeared on my door. Violation, no compliant mailbox. My wife laughed. She stole your mailbox just to fine you. Then came the lawn sabotage. A teen in a neon HOA vest zigzagging a mower across my perfectly manicured grass while Karen nodded. Community standards, she called. When I told her to get off my property, she smirked. We also have rules about hostility. I realized then she was trying to bury me under citations until I broke. But instead of breaking, I flipped the script. I built the most obnoxious, regulation-perfect mailbox you've ever seen, 12 feet tall. Steel fire truck red solar spotlight at night. Giant letters stenciled. HOA approved. Neighbors laughed. Karen nearly fainted. She screamed, "It's an eyesore." I smiled. "Actually, it meets every rule. It's just tall." She stormed off fuming. That was my turning point. I wasn't just defending. I was playing offense. Karen struck back harder. She staged a fake block party to block my driveway with cones and folding tables. Sheriff shut it down in minutes, no permit. Then came sabotage trash cans, overturned hoses, cut sugar in my mower's gas tank. I installed floodlights and hidden cameras. One night, they caught her clipboard lackey creeping around at midnight. I uploaded the clip without a caption. Neighbors filled the blanks themselves. "Is that Tom? Why's he on your property at midnight?" Karen tried to spin it, but the damage was done. Her image cracked. She confronted me on my porch. Fists clenched. "You think you can humiliate me? This isn't over. You'll regret this." Her hands shook. Her voice cracked. She was desperate now, and desperate people escalate. She turned the war to perception. Flyers at the pool bulletin board. "Keep our children safe. Say no to dangerous neighbors." Blurry photo of my spikes zoomed in like medieval traps, my name bolded. She hosted safety night with cookies and coloring books crying about selfish neighbors threatening kids. Parents whispered. People avoided me on walks. For the first time, my wife admitted she was scared to get the mail, and I wondered, was she winning? Was I becoming the villain? But I refused to break. I cut together footage of her Lexus, her minivan parade kids leaping out of the way, set it to classical music captioned, "Safety First." Posted it in the group. Neighbors started questioning her story. She hit back with an official HOA notice accusing me of harassment for having cameras. The hypocrisy was staggering. But I didn't rage. I smiled, waved at neighbors, invited a couple over for burgers. Slowly, cracks spread. People saw I wasn't the monster. Karen grew reckless. She spray-painted driveway thief across my garage in the night. Cameras caught a hooded figure walking like a woman, trying not to walk like a woman. Everyone knew. Then she distributed an anonymous letter to every mailbox calling me a predator, a danger to women and children. The phrasing was hers, almost word for word, from her Facebook rants. My lawyer friend read it and grinned. Gold, grounds for defamation. When she got the cease and desist, she stormed my porch waving papers. "You think this scares me? We are the law here." I sipped coffee. Good thing the county disagrees. For the first time, she faltered. I filed harassment complaints, reported the stolen mailbox to postal inspectors. Her empire was cracking. At the next HOA meeting, she turned it into a referendum on me, Flyers' allies stacked in the crowd. She ranted about my spikes, my cameras, my terror. When she was done, I pulled out the handbook. Page 17. Board members must avoid conflicts of interest, cannot use position for personal gain. Then I laid out evidence her Lexus blocking fire lane sheriff reports on fake complaints flyers with my address. Finally, the county deed proving my driveway was never HOA property. Gasps echoed. "Let's vote," I said. "Not on me, on her. Motion to remove the president." The room erupted. Karen shouted about slander, tried to stall, but the seed was planted. A week later, a special election stripped her of the presidency by a landslide. But losing the title didn't mean she lost the obsession. She reinvented herself as a martyr, poisoning the well with whispers. Cryptic posts, petty vandalism. Then came that night, the night she staged her coup. Lexus sideways trucks unloading plywood cones. Sawhorses, Karen in the road. Bullhorn screeching. Tonight, we reclaim what's rightfully ours. Neighbors spilled out in robes and pajamas, half shocked, half amused. Her loyalists hammered posts like they were planting a new border. My wife whispered horrified, "She's insane." I was calm. I walked down with my phone recording. Evening. "Karen, what's the occasion?" She spun, eyes wild. "You don't own this land. You never did. Tonight the community takes it back." I lifted a packet of papers. "County deed records, stamped certified. My property. Which makes everything you're doing right now, trespassing, vandalism, criminal. And it's all on camera." Laughter rippled through the crowd. Karen's face flushed. She grabbed a spray can, storming toward my garage. "If the county won't listen, we'll make it obvious." Sirens wailed. Sheriff cruisers pulled up, red and blue lights washing over the street. Deputies stepped out. "Ma'am, put that down." She stammered, "This isn't what it looks like. We're protecting the community." He raised an eyebrow. "By spray painting someone's property." Her followers melted away, dropping hammers and cones. She stood alone. I handed over my folder, deeds, photos, reports, the whole pattern. The deputy flipped through and nodded. "Looks like we've got a case." He turned to Karen. "Ma'am, you're under arrest for trespassing, vandalism, and harassment." The spray can clattered to pavement. They cuffed her as she shrieked, "You can't do this. I am the board. I am the community. You'll all regret this." Neighbors filmed as she was shoved into the cruiser, her cries fading into the night. And that's where it ended. Months of fines, sabotage, lies, and power plays finished with her screaming in the back of a patrol car, her empire of fear crumbling around her. The lesson people like. Karen don't just crave shortcuts, they crave control. And the moment you stop playing their game, the moment you stand firm with proof and patience, they destroy themselves.